With the trade deadline right around the bend, the New England Patriots could be looking to ship off some of their players. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about some news that is coming around the New England Patriots as we are just a couple of weeks away from that trade deadline. Let's get into it. What is going on, Pats Nation? It's your boy Colby, also known as Patriots Global, back here with another video. On your way in, make sure you guys do like the video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. I will have you guys covered for everything involving the New England Patriots, from news to rumors to trades to signings to all of that good stuff. But today, I wanted to touch upon a little bit of news that came out today, and that is that the New England Patriots have let it known that wide receiver Tyquan Thornton is available for trade. Now, this is going to be per Jason La Canfora. He is from the Washington Post, so this is something that we know is reliable. Also, something that would make a ton of sense if the New England Patriots are trying to do. We know the current status of New England. We know what the blueprint is. We know they're not going to the playoffs. We know they're not going to the Super Bowl. And honestly, this team might be a little bit more disappointing for this 2024 season than we originally thought. We also know that Elliott Wolf, Patriots general manager, he thinks that rebuilding a team starts with the draft and then taking care of your own players. He knows that a rebuild, at least a proper rebuild, takes multiple years. It doesn't just take 1 year. And the way to come back into being a contender, the way to start being a good team again, is by going to the draft. And the best way to hit on draft picks is by having more draft picks, taking more shots at players. So it would make sense that the Patriots are trying to potentially acquire themselves some extra draft capital here. And look, I'm a big Tyquan Thornton fan in terms of the guy that he is off the field. I think he has a really, really good rapport with the coaching staff, a really good rapport with the players on the field. The connection that he has with Demario Douglas, with Kendrick Bourne, two of the Patriots' top receivers, is very, very clear. During the offseason, these guys are inevitable. They're always with each other. They're always working out together. They have little inside jokes that they post on social media. But at the end of the day, it has to reach a point where either you are producing on the field or you're not. We cannot keep guys on the field keeping up a roster spot who, yes, we're giving you opportunities, but you're quite literally doing nothing with these opportunities for the last 3 years. If you look at Tyquan Thornton's numbers, over the last 3 seasons, he has a total of 37 catches for 365 yards and 2 touchdowns. That span is over 26 total games. Let's keep in mind, too, he was a top draft pick. Everybody wants to go off about N'Keal Harry when Bill Belichick drafted him in 2019 being a bust. Well, you know what? These players weren't too far off. You know, if you look at N'Keal Harry, he was the final pick in the 3rd round in 2019. Then you look at Tyquan Thornton. Bill Belichick traded up in the 2nd round in order to get Tyquan in the 2022 draft. They selected him with the 18th pick in the 2nd round. So really, these guys not too far off from where they were drafted. And N'Keal Harry's production over the same amount of games that Tyquan has had was a lot better than what Thornton has put up. Everybody talking about, well, Bill Belichick can draft. Why did the Patriots get rid of him if he can clearly hit on draft picks? Bill Belichick was good on hitting on defensive draft picks for the most part. But when it comes to the offensive line, when it came to these 1st and 2nd round picks, for some reason, for the most part, Belichick was never able to hit on them, especially at the wide receiver position. And you look at where the Patriots are at the wide receiver position, and it's a big reason on why it's so depleted. Belichick clearly didn't believe in it. He didn't know how to develop it. He never got actual help for Mac Jones or Cam Newton. Really, in the back end of Tom Brady's career, really didn't do much for him either. You drafted, again, Tyquan Thornton in the 2nd round, who you traded up for. A couple years prior, you trade for N'Keal Harry. Both of those guys being busts for you. To even back this up a little bit further, I wanted to look at the numbers that Tyquan has put up since joining New England in 2022. One of the biggest problems for him also has been just getting on the field. The best ability, not just in football, but in sports in general, is reliability and dependency, and that has not been the game for Tyquan Thornton. In fact, here in 2024, this was his first year where, for the most part, he's been able to stay healthy. He's been able to play in the preseason. He's been able to play in training camp and actually build a rapport in a new system and build a rapport with these players. And the reflection on the field hasn't shown itself at all. He missed time in the offseason in 2022 with injury, missed time off the field in 2023 with injury, in a large part because he is a very, very undersized wide receiver. And that's not to hate on the guy or take personal shots. Trust me, I know what it's like to be skinny and have a hard time putting on weight and have a hard time putting on muscle. But you are being paid millions of dollars in order to have the right physique to play football so that it translates on the field. He has 6'3" height. He has ideal size to play in the NFL, but he doesn't have the frame. He's 6'3" at 182 pounds. Julian Edelman at 5'10" was 190 pounds. He just never had the ideal size to play in the NFL, and a big reason on why he was getting injured was because of how thin and how frail he was. And in that rookie year for Tyquan, he showed promise. Again, he has the size to play in the slot. He has the size to play on the outside. He ran a 4.28 40-yard dash. He had the speed. He had this excellent combination that has been proven to be deadly in the NFL when guys can actually get open of size and speed, which is why you at least saw the thought process that Bill Belichick had when he was interested in Tyquan Thornton. But again, that rookie year, 13 total games. He started in 9 of them, 45 targets, 22 receptions, 247 yards, 11.2 yards on average, and 2 touchdowns. Again, had trouble staying healthy. Didn't necessarily do what we were all hoping as a pretty early second-round pick, but we chalked that up to, hey, it's his first year. It's going to take some time, and he dealt with injury. Year 2, he comes in 2023, 9 games, 23 targets, 13 receptions, and 91 total yards, 7 yards on average, and 0 touchdowns. Took a massive leap back from what we said. But again, we chalked that up to the Patriots in general took a major step back in 2023. That offense took a major step back in 2023. And again, for a second consecutive season, Tyquan dealt with injuries in the offseason. A lot of times it takes wide receivers about 2 to 3 years to adapt to the NFL game from the collegiate level and really start to break out. That should be this year. That should be 2024, when you have an upgraded quarterback from 2023. When your team overall is more upgraded, when you have a better coach, you have a much better offensive coordinator here with Alex Van Pelt. Tyquan is getting more run with this offense than ever before. Right now, he is top 3 for the Patriots in snap counts from these receivers. He's their starting X receiver, and he is still doing nothing. He has been in every single game so far, starting in one of them. He's been targeted 5 times, 2 receptions, 27 total yards, 13.5 yards on average, and 0 touchdowns. And with Kendrick Bourne coming back, and with the issues that these wide receivers are having, it's really only a matter of time before we start to see Tyquan Thornton get less and less snaps as he goes down the depth. And with the issues that this offense is having, with the issues that they're having at wide receiver, with the terrible offensive line and these receivers really needing to take a step up. They need more from these wide receivers to get open faster in order to start looking at Drake May starting at any point in the season to try to diminish how bad that offensive line is. You have to start asking yourself, who are the best wide receivers to get on the field if we are going to start Drake May? And I can't say that Tyquan Thornton is going to be one of those guys. In fact, if we take a look right here at the depth chart, Jalen Polk, I would start over Tyquan Thornton. Kendrick Bourne, when he comes back, that's going to be your starting X receiver. That takes Tyquan Thornton's role, and I think that Kendrick Bourne is a lot better for this offense at this point in time anyway, can operate in all 3 phases of the field. KJ Osborne, he's been disappointing, and we'll have to see. He's missed practice so far leading up to week 5 against Miami, but he's been one of the most targeted wide receivers. In fact, he might be the most targeted wide receiver so far through 4 weeks. Might be on IR, might be dealing with an injury problem, but despite him still being new, I trust KJ Osborne a lot more than I trust Tyquan Thornton. Kayshon Boutte actually having better production so far this season than Tyquan. I would put Kayshon above Thornton at this point. Demario Douglas, I would put above. And if you need depth, if you deal with an injury problem, we know that the Patriots, again, are not going to be a contender. They're really not competing for anything. So at that point, if you're dealing with injuries, then I would just rather put Javon Baker in the mix. The only reason New England is starting Tyquan right now is because they need a starting X receiver. Unfortunately, Javon Baker has been very disappointing with how ready he is to translate into being in a starting NFL offense. And the Patriots just need somebody on that offense that is going to make a defense respect them over the top, to say, you know what? Yes, we might not have the offensive line to be able to have consistent passes 20 plus yards down the field to make you respect us. But at some point, if you are just going to load the box and take away our short to intermediate route of the passing game, sooner or later, we're going to take shots to Tyquan, and at some point, we're going to start connecting on them. That has been the only purpose for Tyquan at this point. It hasn't been, we're going to get production out of you, Tyquan. It's been, we need basically a decoy, and this offense needs production at this point. They don't just need a decoy, which brings up the next glaring question that I know that Patriots fans are going to have, and that is, well, okay, what is Tyquan's contract situation? What is that going to look like if the Patriots do decide to get rid of him? Let me do, where is it? This one. Here we go. So if the Patriots do trade Tyquan Thornton, this should be considered a post-June 1st trade because we're not in a new league year. And the good thing that the Pats do have going for them is that Tyquan has zero guaranteed money on his contract for 2024 and 2025. So it's a lot easier for them to trade him versus if they did it in 2022 or 2023. Now, because he is still on that rookie deal, he wasn't a first-round pick, it's not going to free New England up a lot of money. And New England already has like $50-some million in cap to where they have enough money if they wanted to do something. They're not trading Tyquan in order to bring on another piece, but they would take on about $500,000 in dead money, so against the cap, but they would free up about $1.3 million in cap savings. So it doesn't do a whole lot, but it's definitely not going to help them bend against the cap, and it's not going to put them in negative cap either. Now, why would anybody want to trade for Tyquan Thornton? The same reason that I said before. Now, one, you're getting him on a rookie contract. You have him for 2 more years in 2024 and 2025. You just kind of chalk that up to being, hey, that's the Patriots offense. The quarterback play's been bad. It's a new offensive coordinator. Yet again, that entire team sucks. Maybe Tyquan just needs a change of scenery. I mean, he was a projected 3rd, 4th round pick, so it was already a reach where the Patriots did, or where the Patriots got him, but nonetheless still had enough talent to be as high of a projection that he was going to be. Maybe that's all he needs, is that change of scenery. 6'3", ran a 4.28, has that ideal NFL size and speed to where maybe he just needs to go to a team like the Bills, which probably isn't going to happen because it's in division. Maybe he needs to go to a team like the Washington Commanders with Jaden Daniels, who has a big arm and a good offensive line. Maybe Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs call up the Patriots. They have a massive wide receiver shortage right now, and they say, we know Patrick Mahomes can make Tyquan look good. We know that Tyquan has the speed to get behind a defense, and we have the quarterback, we have the offensive line in order to get him the ball, and maybe that's where he ends up going. I think the Patriots will have at least some type of a market for Tyquan. How big is that market? It's kind of just a wait and see approach. They're not getting a 1st round pick. They're not getting a 2nd round pick. They're not getting a 3rd round pick. Honestly, at best, I think the Patriots get a 5th round pick for Tyquan. And again, that is best case scenario. But guys, this is where I kick it to you. What are your thoughts on reports coming out that the Patriots are shipping and shopping Tyquan Thornton before the trade deadline? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and, of course, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. I appreciate you guys clicking on to hear me talk about some Patriots news. But until then, I will see you guys next time, and go Pats.